Morning. Still hadn't had my coffee. Still working on the room too. Still working on the studio. Got the picture hung. The warden made me hang it. Want to talk to you about something today that's kind of important. Drugs. I recently had an injury. And when I went to the doctor, I had to tell him that I was in recovery for opiates and alcohol, and I couldn't get a prescription of opiates. It was deemed an emergency, so they did give me they gave me like a Percocet while I was in the hospital, which helped a little. And then they gave me just a couple, just a few to take home because they can't give you too many. And sadly, I was on. Let me give you a little background here. I was on opiates for 13 years every day. When I stopped taking them, when I started realizing that I couldn't take them anymore, was 2007. I was taking 300 milligrams of MS Cotton a day, and even popping some perks here and there. And it was most of it was legal. I had a prescription for the MS Cotton, which is the same thing as Oxycontin, except there's one medicine that's not in there with the MS. It's like straight morphine almost. If you or I were to take that now, it'd probably kill us. That's a lot of drugs. But I had gotten injured in the 90s. It all started out innocent. I never took pills of any kind. I smoked, and in the 80s we did drugs, cocaine, acid. Never did needles, never smoked crack. We thought we were going to be rock stars, so we thought we were important. But I did opiates. I started out taking, they started out giving me just like Darvocet and, stuff like that. And then it slowly worked up to Percocet 10s. I found out that Loracet is more addictive than Percocet. And that's what they told us. In any case, that went on, excuse me, for years and years. And finally in 2007, I grew some and got off of it. And from 2007 until after I moved here, when I moved to Florida, I was the cleanest I'd ever been. Hadn't been on anything in 5 years. And then after I'd been here about 3 years, I kind of started, taking them again, just here and there. I had a friend that worked at a comedy club that used to get Percocets every month. And he'd give me a few, and it started to be 30, a month. And so I knew I couldn't do that. Well, I knew it wasn't advantageous to do that. I had a great fiance. She had never been on drugs, so she didn't know what to look for. She didn't know how it changes you, which I don't give a shit who you are. Opiates changes you. So after that, I started going to a pain management clinic, and they put me on what's called buprenorphine. I started getting like Suboxone from a friend of mine, and he was giving it to me, telling me, and it would give you a buzz. The Suboxone and the buprenorphine will kind of get you high. They kind of give you like an opiate buzz because they're synthetic and they help with withdrawals, which I did not know this. So when I finally went to a pain clinic, they gave me a prescription for buprenorphine, and it was great. I was on it for like 4.5 years, and I just figured out that it was just another synthetic opiate. It's just. And I got to explain this to you. The reason I'm doing this video is because, life is not good, when it comes to how I feel and stuff. Life is good otherwise. Great wife, great animals, good band, comedy. But just inside, I'm never going to be the same. I'm never going to be the same. It's, I feel it every day. It's like, I felt so good on the pills. So good. And it's like I cheated life or something. It just feels like it's payback, for all those years that I felt invincible. And I wasn't invincible. When I went to the pain management center, the first thing they did was they stuck needles in my back all the way to my spine and gave me Percocets every month and said that would fix it. And of course, it never does. That doesn't fix it. So I figured that out. They were charging my insurance like $3,000 a month. It was bad. So then I went to another pain management place here with a pediatrician named Dr. Dwight Tua. And it was the worst experience that I've ever been to with a doctor. The doctor I had before that got arrested for selling opiates. I wasn't getting opiates. I was legally getting a prescription every month of buprenorphine. So when I started going to this clown, Dr. Tua here, they wouldn't take my insurance. They wouldn't take debit card. Only take cash. $150 a month. $25 for a drug test, which I never failed. Never failed the drug test. And then $125 for the prescription. Well, that wasn't enough for him. Okay, so he started making my prescription instead of 2 a day of this buprenorphine. I was supposed to take 1 in the morning, 1 at night. And that worked. Instead of 2 a day, instead of giving me $60 a month, he couldn't do math. 2 times 30 is 60, right? So he would prescribe me like 48 pills. So every other month I was giving him 300, and then every other month 150. And I asked him about this. I was like, why do you keep charging me for the drug tests? You know, I don't ever take them. You don't ever give them to me anymore because I don't fail them. I was trying to be nice about it because there was signs all up in his office. Every single pain management clinic doesn't take checks, don't take credit cards, don't take insurance, only take cash. That tells you something right there, that an MD, someone with a medical doctor with a license in Florida, will only take cash from you. My insurance covered all my prescriptions and everything, but he wouldn't take it. So they had signs all up in his office. If you argue this, that, well, I'm not mean to anybody. I wanted my prescription. You know? I'd do anything to get my prescription. So last year I'd had it. I just had enough of being treated like a junkie. No offense to junkies. I'm in recovery. I mean, fuck, you know. So I got my last prescription from him January of 2024. And I broke those little pieces up for 6 months to wean myself off of it. And, you know, I've quit smoking cigarettes back in the 90s. I quit cocaine. I quit drinking. You know, I quit all this without rehab because I couldn't afford it. Buprenorphine, quitting that was the hardest thing that I've ever been through. I can't even explain to you. I couldn't let Beth see it. Beth's never been a druggie. I mean, she was in a freaking Christian cult for 25 years, for Christ's sake. She can't see me like this. My ex-wife saw all of that. You know, I can't even explain to you the embarrassment and the pity I feel for her for what I put her through. I can't put Beth through that. You know? So I was curled up in a ball in the bathroom for 3 nights in a row. Then I was on less than 1 milligram of buprenorphine a day for over a month. And the withdrawals were like someone stabbing me in the chest from the inside out with a dagger. So I guess what I'm getting to is, you know, I'd like to say being sober, being straight is the way to be, because it is. But I'm just tired, man. I'm just tired. And I hate to do a video that's not funny and not upbeat and everything, but this injury has just made me realize how I cheated life when other people were not cheating it. Other people were living every day, taking their headaches, their pain, their backaches, and I wasn't. You know, I circumvented that by cheating the system, by taking opiates, by taking pain pills, and figuring out doctors who would give me what I wanted, and friends of mine that were sick, that weren't taking their pills. When my mother was dying, she was giving me her Percocets. She'd get 500 a month. She'd just take the bottle and just pour it in my hand. She'd pour 100 in my hand. She wasn't trying to be mean to me. She just knew I hurt. She figured, hey, they're legal. The doctor gives, you know, she didn't think she was doing anything wrong. My mother was a little goody two-shoes when she was growing up. She never smoked dope or did nothing. My mother was a, you know, total straight arrow until she got older. She sure did change that when she got older. But I guess what I'm getting to is life is very short not to be happy, but it's just so long when you hurt, and I hurt every day, man, every single day of the week. There's not a day goes by that I don't think about those pills and think about what they did to me. Now I can't take them. When I took those pills in the hospital with this injury, it didn't make me feel like it did before. There was no, I didn't feel strong. I didn't feel good. I didn't feel happy. That's what opiates do to you. They make you not think about, they make your body not know the pain's there, and you can injure yourself even more like that. The buprenorphine did that as well. I got in a bad car accident 4 years ago, head on. 22-year-old dude looking at his phone hit me head on. They had to use the jaws of life to get me out of the car. I'm fine, I'm all right. But it messed up my back to where now one of my vertebrae is just constantly crooked. I go to a chiropractor, it helps, but, it doesn't help for long. And it's not his fault. He's a great chiropractor. Dylan George, if you ever get a chance, Dr. Dylan George, wonderful chiropractor here in Palm Coast. But I think what I'm saying is my buddy Jeremy Dunn and I have been talking. He's a lifelong friend. He's a friend of my nephew that passed away, Gabriel Laughinghouse. Miss him every day. And Jeremy and I are going through the same thing. We were both on these things hard for many, many years. And, he told me, he said, hey, man, get back on the Suboxone, man. It'll help you. Get back on it. I'm 60 years old. My days are numbered. I'm trying to eat right, lose weight, I know people count on me, and I can't believe that I did that to myself, from the time I was, mid 90s. So say 30 to, 28 to like 40, that's, and not to mention all the years that I did, here and there. I would do one or two here to make me feel better. That's when the real trouble came in, is when I moved here and I thought I can just do a few. I can get a few from a buddy here, a few from a buddy there, do a few for a few days, and I Jones for a month. I don't have any of that now. Now I just fucking hurt. That's it. And I think, I want to blame the doctors. Can't do that. It's partially their fault for prescribing it. Back in the 90s, my doctor told me that the Oxycontin people came in and took her and her family to the beach, let them stay down there for a 5-day weekend. We're talking billions of dollars of pharmaceuticals. She quit medicine because of what opiates was doing to people. I talked to her 5 years ago. So I guess what I'm saying is health is so important, and so you think, oh, I don't have a snotty nose, I don't have a flu. There's so much more, than just I had 2 pain pills left from my injury. I had 2 left. I'm supposed to take one every, they wanted me to take one every 6 hours. I didn't do that. I took one day, and then ibuprofen, and then, I was very careful with it because I know what it did. I know what happens. The last day I had 2 left, and I took both of them. And I did it on purpose. I did it just to feel it again, and I did it because I knew I wouldn't have it anymore. And I hurt. This still hurts. Every second I'm standing here, it hurts. Sitting here. And you know what? It didn't do what it used to do. The drugs just don't do what they used to do. I have a marijuana prescription card. It helps a little. I have skin cancer, basal cell carcinoma, and squamous cell carcinoma. It's not life-threatening, but it doesn't go away. And just telling you, man, if you're on opiates, or if you're on Suboxone or buprenorphine or whatever, you need to realize that when you're off of it, you're never away from it. I wish I could give you some good news, but you're not. You're never away from it. And I know that I have to pay every day that I'm on this earth. I'm going to have to pay. Hold on, Tiggy. Not a moment's peace in this house. Not one moment. Have a nice day.